Now, behind every great actor must stand someone who was great enough to put those lines together, to put together a production. And I've followed JacQuay Waller since actually running across his production of Black Monologues, which the name itself kind of ushered forth a slight chagrin, you know, because I was wondering what is it that I would, how could you prepare yourself for Black Monologues? And you'll find out in just a moment that there was no preparation. You just had to go in and understand that men have feelings too. So if you could please put your hands together and bring to the stage JacQuay Waller. I'm good, man. Again, I want to thank you for making your way to the stage today and letting us know a little bit more about JacQuay Waller and what's going on with Dreamcatcher. It's a pleasure to have you here. I've been trying to, get concert with you for a minute, so this means a lot. So JacQuay, first of all, I started off. Now we started off with a wonderful segue of your most recent stage performance.
Right.
So if you could please expound first on your current play, Tears of a Rose, and then we're going to talk about Black Monologues and where that has brought you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Sean, you and Persona Magazine for the opportunity to engage an audience and to engage you and continually let the world know what we actually do. So thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give Persona Magazine a round of applause. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Keep doing great things. But Tears of a Rose is a piece that I typically only run once a year. And it's a piece that explores the concept of giving folks their flowers while they're living. Because in many cases, we wait till people are dead and gone to tell them how much we love them, how much we appreciate them, that, you really were a better dancer than I was, but I never told you, or you were a better singer than I was, but I never told you. And then they go into debt, trying to buy the biggest flowers or the most expensive flowers. And then, some of our family members, they'll try to get into the, they'll try to get in the casket, when folks dead and go, I want to go with you, mama. They never told mama that they loved her while she was here. So we put on this big show. And so I felt it was very important to really move people to tell those folks around you how much you love them while you have it, when they can actually enjoy it, when they can actually smell those flowers. Okay. So that was the inspiration behind Tears. And Tears looks over a myriad of situations, which is how I do a lot of work. And what you witnessed earlier was Rhoda. And Rhoda being a high school teenager who starts to feel herself, is anxious. I'm sure all of us remember trying to be grown before our time. We just think it won't be there. You weren't like that? No. You're the exception. But trying to be grown before our time, and she experiences what her mother was trying to shelter her from. So it's a hard lesson learned, but as you watch the scene, you start to notice her coming around and give her mother props, thank her for what she's been trying to emulate for her, the example she's been trying to set forth. And Tears also looks at sibling rivalry and looks at abuse, and you find out why a mother would choose to stay in an abusive relationship. I know that shocks people because why would you stay in this abusive relationship? Well, when you hear her tell you why she chooses to stay, and it's interesting because you find out, people get disturbed by that. Okay. But all of these characters and all the productions we do, they are based off of true events. They're real people's stories. And what you didn't see is that what we really do is reality theater. That's what we do. That's my brand, reality theater. And so at the end of all of my pieces, regardless of the content, you get the opportunity to literally engage with the characters. Okay. Not the actors, but the characters.
Okay. And in saying that, and I hate what you're sharing, but maybe we're picking up. But in saying that, that's one of the things that really stood out about your performances and your plays that stuck with me and made me want to come back. Not only were there dynamic performances during the entire play, but your characters actually stayed in character after the curtain fell, and you gave the audience an actual opportunity to speak to the character, not the actor, because that's how I met JacQuay Waller. I was the first one who raised my hand and asked the question of the actress. And the actor who was her husband put me back in my place right away. And I was dumbfounded for a moment. And JacQuay had to let me know that, hey, he's still in character. And I was like, is that right? Is he supposed to?
But wasn't it some of the patrons, some of the other theater goers that were there were like, he won't talk to you right now.
Right, they did.
This isn't how it works.
And it was amazing. It was amazing to see that they maintained that character beyond the stage, and they didn't break from that, and it was just something very different. So in saying that, Black Monologues became a very popular series.
It is.
You didn't do it once. You didn't do it twice.
It's on a national tour.
I mean, there are 3 major parts to this.
Right.
And in that, we see roughly, because I could be wrong with the number here, but we see roughly 21 characters developed as male characters.
Male characters.
And their counterparts.
Right.
And each one is a different facet of life, and each one brings to life things that you don't normally hear a man say. You don't normally hear a man do. You hear our inner thoughts. You hear black monologues being basically, in my opinion, something that was very refreshing.
Yes.
Something that brought to life a lot of personal tragedies and triumphs.
Awesome.
So in saying that, what was your thought concept behind putting together something that was so explosive and so revealing about black men?
Thank you. I'm flattered. I'm humbled that you think so much of Monologues. In fact, Monologues are currently 3 installments. It's a series, and we'll release 4 Monologues 4 next year. But they're actually right now they're close to 30 male characters out of 3. And a lot of folks, well, if you follow me, you may know that literally by trade, I'm really a rocket scientist. That's my background. So missile engineer, my product sits on Navy ships right now. Okay. So, and before moving to Atlanta, I actually moved to Atlanta to go to seminary. So I'm an ordained preacher, and I attended Emory. And so while in a course called Sexuality and the Black Church, right? Okay. I mean, I know, oxymoron, right? Sexuality and the Black Church, I was out of about 35 students, I was one of 3 men. Okay. We were beat down the entire semester because we were responsible for answering for every man across the world. Women were having disputes with their husbands or whatnot, and they wanted to know what men thought about certain things. So we were the targets. So we had to take that brutal punishment day in and day out. But what it showed me was that women were really interested in the thoughts of black men, and that in general, black men, we don't really share our emotions. That's the way we're cut. We don't really talk about how we feel, but we do feel. And the fact is, what I realized through lots of research is that men, they're not going to open up for the fear of it actually being used against them. So I'll keep that to myself and share it with people that I know it's going to be safe with. And so we found out with Monologues is that we want to take those issues and bring them to life on the stage, and allow women, allow men, allow people of various backgrounds, colors, genders to engage with the actual issues. And it carries on because you can actually talk to this character, whether you agree or disagree. I've had people get cussed out. They want to try a character and they don't think it's real. They get cussed out and they run out the theater. I've had people, so the fact that it's reality theater, you just don't know how I'm going to come. I'm going to keep you on your toes. I have characters who come out of the audience. You don't even know. I mean, I do that out of Monologues 3. There's a character that sits, a couple that sits in the audience, and I've had the cops call, because they thought, oh Lord, they're down here 14th Street, they're about to act a fool. Lord Jesus, well, what are we gonna do? And then they see him hit the stage and they're like, wow, I didn't know.
Okay. So in doing things like that and bringing reality to the theater,
right,
and presenting a shock value, what do you think that does to re-energize people's interest in theater?
Well, my impetus is to raise awareness on various issues that go untouched. You know, we're very serious about being a voice to the voiceless. So anytime that you hear something hit the media or whatnot, and you're finding out that people are talking about it, there's at least one, you know, theater film company that will touch it, and that's Dreamcatchers, you know, area. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tap that, you know, and because we want people. I'm very careful not to tell you what to think, what to do, how to do it. That's not my place. My idea is to bring it forth to say, hey, this is something we need to discuss. This is something we need to be talking about it. And now that you know, now you're accountable. Okay. See, beforehand, you can pretend, like, I didn't know that, really? Oh, that's so sad. I didn't, but yeah.
Just touch the hem of his garment.
Right, exactly.
Change forever.
Exactly, change forever. So now that you've been exposed to it, you have to do something. And that's why these characters live. That's why I work the actors so hard. Because it has to be real, and it has to be tangible. And in the event that it's not, mission is incomplete.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank JacQuay Waller for sharing with us this evening. Your next production is?
May 5th through the 12th, 14th Street Playhouse. That's Tears of a Rose. We're very excited about it. Tears of a Rose. Manalogs is currently on tour. Tears of a Rose is getting ready to leave Atlanta, go on tour. And in June will be the world premiere for Traffic, which I'm very ecstatic about right now, because Traffic looks at the whole issue of human trafficking worldwide. So I'm going to take you on a ride that you've never been on, and I guarantee you, you're going to learn a lot of things you never knew.
Okay. Well, again, I do want everyone to put their hands together and thank JacQuay Waller and his lovely actress for bringing to life another scene from another great play. And we all look forward to becoming patrons of the upcoming play, as well as now we're waiting for Traffic. So I'll be at Manalogs 4, and I will not ask any questions.
Don't ask questions. Hey, wait on Traffic, wait on Tears. You know, wait.
I'm not asking a thing. I'm just going to sit there and I'm buttoning up. But I do want to thank you for
brother.
taking the time to come out and letting us know a little bit more about how to catch a dream.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And once again, JacQuay Waller.
Thanks again.